Good morning, how are we all doing? Today we're going to do some price analysis on Bitcoin, have a look at some news, what's going on, and then we'll have a look at pretty much the entire crypto market and have a look at what's going on in terms of price action, maybe even a bit of news, and then we'll take some requests as usual, probably about an hour stream, so wait for a few people to get on and then we'll crack on straight into it and see what's going on. So in fact, we'll have a look at a little bit of news first, in fact, while we're here. And we do know we've got all this volcano mining coming out of El Salvador. We've now got his legal tender. And this was a shot, let's just make it bigger. This was a shot from a drone yesterday, filmed above that volcano in El Salvador. So that's where we're going to be doing that Bitcoin mining, pulling all that that energy from that pressure of that mine there. So crazy things. And then we've done a bit of a virtual reality. This is what it's going to look like. Not sure how long it's going to take them, but that's a bit of virtual version of what they're planning on doing. And they said that the mine will be offset about half a mile from that facility, so that's something big. And look at size of that. You wouldn't have thought. Everyone saw that first bit of steam coming out on that one pipe. Nobody expected it to be this size, so that's absolutely massive. Morning everybody in chat, how we all doing? Like I said, we'll just wait for a few people to jump in and then we'll do some price analysis on Bitcoin and see what's going on in terms of the entire market. Can't believe the size of that thing though. Then the volcano explodes, yeah. Well, hopefully it's not a one that does erupt. You get ones that don't do erupt and ones that don't you? So well, you can't plan out, but fingers crossed it don't erupt or that goes there planned down the shitter. But yeah, let's have a look at the charts anyway. So Bitcoin, I've just put a tweet out earlier on saying we are pretty much bouncing within this range now. I mean, pretty much since, you could say 19th of May when we had that savage dip down to just shy of 30k. Ever since then, we've popped back up. We've used this as a higher range, come back, retraced to 31k on my nose. I mean, if you look at that, we came back up towards that region at 40k, and then we did again drop to that exact same point where we dropped last time. I'm looking for a breakout of this region here. I think 40,600, 40,700 is a first area to break through. I think once we do break through that, we can really start to pick up some momentum. But still, I mean, just look on me. We'll start on my weekly, in fact. Look at that. I mean, that's bearish. We had two major, massively candles to the downside. And if you're looking at a MACD here, it's very, very bearish. I mean, we had that crossover there. I mean, there's always potential that we could start ticking up. But in terms of sentiment, it is bearish on the weekly. Drop into a daily, still bearish there. I mean, we are in a downtrend ever since those all-time highs. But we are range bound now. Pretty much similar to what happened here. We hit some highs, we retraced. Use this same level here as support, which we're using now. So to me, it does show that that is a solid area of liquidity. And I think anything that gets within that 30k range is getting bought up real quick. So I think, in my opinion, I don't think we're going to be any lower than that, to be honest. If we did, then it might be for a bumpy ride. But yeah, still a little bit bearish on that time frame. And then looking at a 4 hour, still range bound within this region, but like I say, we've used this 30k region as support 3 times now. And in my opinion, I think we need to go up and retest this region at 48,500. I think if we test it and break through it, then we can look at this region here at around 45k, and then we've got this region of liquidity here at 50k. So still fairly bearish, to be honest. I mean, if you're dropping down to it hourly, we are on a bit of a rise here. I was looking for 38% retracement, which we've pretty much got a few times, very close to that region. And I'm just looking for a breakup now to end at 40k. Hopefully we can get that today, because we do know that the weekends can be quite volatile. And I mean, usually over the last few months, it's been volatile to the downside. I think last weekend was quite an exception. We had a bit of sideways growth last weekend. So I'm hoping that this weekend we can really start to lay some green candles in. Just looking at the moving averages here, I've got the 8 and the 21. We've had a bullish cross here on the 9th of June, which was 2 days ago now. But just looking at the MACD, it's slightly bearish coming down here. So we might get a potential cross before we do start to push on. But in terms of moving averages, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this setup, hit the highs, retrace that 382, which we've done, if you look at that wick there. and then push back up. There's always that possibility that it could come down to 618 level at 33,000, pretty much 34,000, before we do start to push on. So that's pretty much my thoughts on BTC. Nothing really happening until we get above this region at 40,700, and then we can start looking at some lower levels. But that's the first key region to look at. Let me just catch up on chat, see what's going on. How are we doing, Raf, mate? Stock market down 4% after the huge run up. Everyone's is crashing again. Yeah, shock. You get a few percent move and everyone seems to think world's ending, don't you? What do you think of ICP? I've never looked at ICP, to be honest, mate. I've seen it mentioned quite a lot. I've just never really looked into it. I got my investments a while back. I've not really bought much new recently, but I think I could do with taking some profit on some coins at some stage and diversifying. See the 2 AM spike on ZIL inside in for a Coinbase listing, they reckon. I'll take it as that wick there, mate. Let's just get rid of all this shite, all this noise. Get rid of the moving averages for now. Drop down to the hourly. You reckon this wick here? What was that in terms of a percent gain? 11% wick there. I mean, yeah. That happened recently as well. We had a big wick on ZIL. This one here. Look at that, I just got bought straight into. I think that was a $200 million buy. There's always rumours of Coinbase, isn't there? You would expect a project like ZIL to be on Coinbase. They've been making some moves recently into growing their footprint in the US. And if that equivalates to a place on Coinbase, then happy days, because I think that will be massive. They're quite big over in Singapore and that region, so yeah. Just going back to Bitcoin anyway, we'll just stick to this for now. Drop back to the 4 hour. So with all this bullish news on Bitcoin with regards to El Salvador, they're the first to it. Who's going to be next? Who do you think? I mean, we could have. There's been rumours of Argentina, Panama, a few others taking it legal tenders. I mean, over in South America, inflation has hit hard over here, so you would expect some of those countries to start pushing on now. El Salvador has, to be honest. Right, anyway, let's have a look at Ethereum, see what's going on here. Not much going on in terms of Ethereum. I mean, you could say we're range bound on this again if we just could say that's his lower line, that's his higher line, and what we're looking for is a breakout above this region. It's held pretty well, and it's been, to be honest, it's been pretty boring. I mean, if you're looking at his lower range here and his high range, we've only been down to 218 and then 2900, so still quite boring. There's always that possibility that we could still drop to the downside, so we could do something like this. Potentially not, because that would be savage before we break up. That's a potential scenario. I can't see us going down to that region, but it just depends how the market goes. If we do get a major shakeout across Bitcoin again, that's a setup. But what I'm more looking for is something like this. Come back up, test this region around here. If you look at there, test that region, come back down, test that, and then pop to the upside. That's one scenario. That's two scenarios. But in terms of Ethereum, I still think it's held up quite well throughout this Bitcoin this drop. I mean, obviously not from these highs. It's dropped a fair old chunk. 59-60%, not too bad compared to some also. It did held up fairly well. We do know we've got London upgrade coming in next month, I believe. So that might be a potential bullish scenario coming up for Ethereum too. Tell us about caps, please, mate. So let's have a look at caps. Actually, let's have a look at price. I think we had a bit of a drop today. Yeah, we've done most highs. Retraced on 23 cents. Currently at that golden ratio now. I've been working for caps for a few weeks now. I honestly think it's massive. We've got some huge links with buying on Smart Chain. Let me just have a look at my Twitter. Show you some information about it. Basically, they do data transmission on a blockchain in form of NFTs. going quite nicely. Got a solid graphic designer who's building. Look at this, we're now part of the Binance NFT marketplace, and this project, it's only been out about 2 to 3 weeks, and if you're already getting a spot on the Binance NFT place, I think that's massive. And that's what you could say is a footstep in the door towards that potential listing that everybody wants. We've got this dude involved here as well. It's a French company, by the way. This dude's been sharing loads of stuff. He's got 580k followers, which is massive. What else have we had? Currently doing a giveaway if you want to jump over on that. Yeah, like I say, that's part of that NFT marketplace there. 100 creators and they got selected. He's a CEO there. With the data transmission, it's a little bit like you can have a will on the blockchain. They've got something called DEF protocol, which is quite a bit of a buzzword. So you can set your will, you can lock it up for a certain amount of time and access it at some stage in the future. I think it's released upon DEF. I've got about 6 different protocols, so I do like what they're doing. NFT, Binance, it's also part of a Polkadot ecosystem. If you go into, you get a lot of these projects coming out now saying they're going to be a Polkadot parachain when they've got no substrate on their GitHub. But if you go and check out GitHub for Tanoa, you can see I've got substrate on there. I mean, if you look at Polkadot parachain's website, you can also see that they are on the testnet on Chaos too. So I'm a massive fan of that. I think it's going to be solid for the future. So buy in, hold long term, and I think they'll be massively rewarded. Right, so it's Bitcoin and Ethereum covered. Somebody mentioned XLM. I'll have a look at that. I mean, I'll go through some of the alts. I'll look at Zilliqa and VeChain too, if we can find XLM. Where is it down there? So XLM, this is a daily time frame. Currently in that bearish phase on the MACD there. I mean, I'm looking for a break to the upside here to pretty much get out of this mundane chop. I mean, a lot of cryptos now are quite indecisive, should I say, and they're quite boring. So what I need to do is buy at these levels and hope we get a breakout soon. But looking at this on a 4-hour, look at that. It's pretty boring, isn't it? Not much going on in terms of growth. And like I say, the entire market's like that. So if you're looking for some buys, I mean, there's also a possibility it could come down and test these lows, down at 27 cents, currently at 38. I mean, I'm not even going to put a fib on this, to be honest. I don't think there's much point. We've done probably we've done that 68% retracement, bounced up within this region. There's no confluences at all on that fib, so yeah, not much going on in terms of growth here. I mean, where have we been? We've been up to 79 cents. I think the all-time high is around 93 or something like that. Might even be wrong. Let's have a look. We've been up to 87 3 years ago. So we're a long way off that yet. If you're a massive fan of it, I think now is a good time to buy up. I mean, look at this region around here. That was the area of liquidity. Had a lot of trading there before we did start to push up. Then we created them local highs, should say the yearly highs up at 79 cents. So this region could be the same. I mean, could be a nice buy zone before that next gradual incline up. When we're looking for highs and where we are in the cycle, I think we need to have a look at this as well. If you watch my streams quite often, you'll probably see I've been looking at this quite recently. I was never a big fan of it in the early days, but back in 2013, when we was at cycle last time, we hit some highs around the region. If you look at that spike there, and there, and there, that's the spikes around that region. So, I mean, we're coming into that area now where you could see a potential spike. I mean, that spike there is bang on August of this year, but as you can see, this one overshot it by about 3 months. This one was slightly before it. So I reckon anywhere from pretty much August down to around December time, around this region, probably the area where we're going to get some all-time highs. If you're looking at this, it's starting to turn yellowish, and every time we've turned yellow, we've had some major growth. So we've had that yellow growth there, and we've had a growth here as well. So yep, I still think we're overall bullish, and Bitcoin yet to get its all-time highs, and I think obviously when Bitcoin gets all-time highs, you will see some parabolic alt action. So still a long way off yet. I think this is just the pullback before the next leg up, really. Let's just have a look at some news, see if there's anything going on. Not looked at any news this morning, apart from that El Salvador news. Oh god. Everyone saw what was going on in Miami, didn't we, over the last few weeks with Americans? A massive Bitcoin party. Some attendees of Bitcoin 2020 event in Miami tested positive for COVID-19. Shock. Well, thousands of them, weren't there? Jack Dorsett, CEO of Square, is planning to develop an open source non-custodial Bitcoin hardware wallet linked into Twitter. Shit we don't need to know. Yeah, not much going in terms of news other than that Bitcoin mining in El Salvador. So, right, fire some projects at me. We've pretty much looked at the majors that we're going to look at. So, fire some in comments and I'll try and fire through some alts. Let's have a look at Polkadot first. Polkadot's in much of a chop like the rest of them. It's looking like it's on the rise now. If you look at it on the 4 hour, I think what we're doing is creating some higher lows. So that was the low rate. High low. High low. So that is forming some structure now. And I reckon we're going to just continue that uptrend now. I think personally, I think that dump is done with, and I think we're just going to start creating some structure, ready for that next leg up. I mean, if you want to put a little bit of a bearish scenario and looking for some potential buy zones, I mean, we've pretty much done that 61% retracement. So you would say that was the area to buy. And then looking for targets, this region here is a first area to break through. I think breaking above $31 would be a nice area to potentially to push through. Still a way off yet though, we're currently only sat at 22, but that is a first major area to break through before we then can continue and start to push back up to them high, so still a way off yet. Reef BTC pair. Have we got a Reef BTC chart on here? Yeah, we have. Look what's going on here. That's a boring chart, isn't it? Literally nothing going on. That's a daily time frame as well. Pretty much coming down to this region where it's been tested about 1 million times. Wick, thousands of wicks, wick there, loads of wicks there. Just show you that's potentially a bottom there before it does bounce on. Obviously we've had a couple of wicks to the downside, but yeah, that's a boring chart, that, isn't it? I mean, if you're looking to buy in Satoshis, then 59, 60 sats probably a decent area. Maybe if you're looking to grow some Bitcoin, buy some Reef now and potentially ride it up to around this region. As you can see, rejected here, rejected here, rejected here, so it maybe you could have a potential flip. If you're looking to stack some sats, maybe buy here, sell, buy, sell. I mean, that's all it's doing at the minute, buy, sell. You could just keep doing that on Reef, because yeah, that's boring until the market does eventually push on. I think that's what you're going to get for a while, to be honest. So yeah, boring chart, right, isn't it, mate? FWT. Which one's FWT? That's not that Orbit one, is it? Three-way token. I'm sure I used to hold some of this. Have a look. Probably got rid of it, but yeah, I've got rid of it. I remember when it first came out in USD. So freeway token, where have we been? We've been up to 3.1 cents. Savage drop, as usual with crypto. Nothing ever goes straight. 74% drop. So, I mean, I've not looked into this project. I've not heard anything about it for a long time. So if it's still building and still going on, you would expect that drop is just what's pretty much gone in the entire market. I mean, we've been down to this region quite a lot here. If you look at this wick here, to the downside, use that area support, so that's 0.008. Use that support quite a few times now. So I mean, if you're looking to buy, I think that potentially is the bottom there. So I would still bang some orders in that range, 0.008, if it does allow. And then if you're looking for some areas to target, probably target this 0.11 cents. So that's an area, but I mean, I'm not too sure about fundamentals and what's going on there, mate. Not sure what this song is. Right, look at ETC. I'm not sure where ETC's been getting the volume from, because I'm sure it's a shitcoin. I had about $7 billion volume over there, and I thought, how the hell has that got so much volume? So Ethereum Classic. Yeah, it's a nasty pullback out. Overall, we did a 77% pullback. MACD looking very, very bearish, but potentially we could be coming to an end, as you can see. We might be building up some momentum now to potentially get that bullish tick to the upside. Quite a solid drop. I mean, we're still downtrending there, pretty much from that wick. Downtrend all the way down, so you're really looking for a break above that region. I mean, anything above $64 probably be a decent region to break through. Then we can start to pick up some bullish momentum. But if you're looking for buys, I mean, this is your baseline. I'd just pretty much look at buying within that range. Where's my box? Looking at this here, we've got a lot of trading within that region, and it goes all the way through to that wick there. So that to me just show that some area of liquidity, and buy here, look for a break to upside, and then potentially send it up with a long, because like I say, there's an absolute ton of volume behind it, but I still don't know anybody who bought it. So if you're looking for a potential trade setup, something like that, try and target that wick there. Potential 80% trade if it does break to the upside. Maybe if you're looking to trade it, maybe wait for it to break to the upside, retest that trend line, and then long it up that way. So that could be a potential trade setup on ETC if the market does allow. So potentially move that down, move that long to the test of that support line, look for a breakout, wait for a retracement, and then long the hell out of it and target that wick there. So that could be a potential. I mean, it's 100% move there with no leverage, and that is a good potential setup if you're looking for one. But I'm not going to do it. Not a big fan of it, to be honest. If you've got any other projects, throw them in comments. I'll just look at any assets, really. Anything apart from Doge. Or any meme bullshit coins. ITC. Never heard of that one, mate. Is it on here? Oh, that's been absolutely savaged, hasn't it? What is ITC? Let me have a look. IoT chain. Never ever even heard of that one. But yeah, it's been absolutely savaged. I mean, if you're looking for buys, it's pretty much bottoms on there, isn't it? When we got data from, quite an old one, data from Feb 18. No, I've not done Matic yet. I'll have a look in a sec. This is pretty much not much going on there, mate. Can't really analyse that. Right. Yeah, SDL. I've never looked at JUP, mate. So you'd have thought that's some big ass rug pull, wouldn't you? But project's still doing what it's doing. I think we had a lot of FUD with the SDL. I think a lot of people were expecting 1000% APY when that staking come out. Didn't get it, and pretty much lost for Teddy and threw out a pram. But fundamentally, nothing has changed on non-federal. Just investors losing the patience with it, which happens a lot in crypto. I mean, 92% is quite harsh, to be honest. But if you're bullish on a project, now is the time to buy, to be honest. I mean, in terms of price action, very, very little going on. Yeah, not much going on at all, to be honest. I mean, if you're looking for buys, buy at this region. And then maybe if we're looking to take some profit, you've got to look at this region around here, up at 43 cent. Maybe if you're looking for some accumulation, there's always that potential that we could bounce up and down. I've not got that tool on here. Yeah, buying these regions, I think if you're looking for a flip, 18 cent up to that region, it's a fair old chunk. You're looking at 146%, so there's a good chance that you could make some decent accumulation at those levels if you're looking for that. But yeah, in terms of price action, pretty much fuck all going on. So buy them region, hold long term, and I think they'll be rewarded for that. Matic. So look at my daily first. Tell you what, let's get rid of everything on here. So we do know that we had that massive rise to upside, and then we obviously we dropped our way down to 74 cent, and we recovered rapido, didn't we? I mean, I think it was one of the best recovering assets across the entire market. We 228% we jumped up. Obviously, retracement from this region around here now. I mean, if you look at the entire move, we've actually lost that 6 and 8 level, so there's a potential that it could come down to this region down here now. If you're looking for some buys, maybe $1.10, that could be an area for us to target, because we are trending down now. It really depends on what Bitcoin does over the next few days. If you just look at that there, currently trending down. Potentially we could come down to this region at $1.10, but we are looking for a break up of this region. So I mean, any break above 148, or depending how far we come down, is a region where we could either be looking to open some longs, or potentially selling within this range. But not looking too good so far. That is quite a bearish chart on the daily time frame. Downtrending. The MACD is very bearish, still around midway through its cycle. There's always a chance that we could pop to upside, and this histogram could push up. But what we're looking for is a breakout of this. I'm not going to act on anything because I actually want to buy a bit of Matic. If we do come down to this region at 110, I think that'll be a stealer investment. So let's just monitor that for now. I'm not going to potentially open any trades or longs until I see what's going on. If we break out of this, maybe the same as what I said earlier with KSM. Maybe if we're looking for, not KSM, what did I look at on ETC? If we do break to the upside, I'm looking for a retest of a trend line to potentially either open a long or a spot investment and then ride it up towards back of the top of that move. So that is a potential setup there. I mean, if you're looking for a long as well, maybe a retest of this trend line down here, depending on how the market goes. Stop loss, quite a tight stop loss at around 5% usually, and we can target out region. So you got potential 100% move there, but like I say, just see what goes on and see how the market plays out, to be honest. Worried we are going to go down over the upcoming weekend. There's also that potential at weekends, I've said it before, the most brutal times for crypto. Last weekend were quite tame, really. I mean, if you're just looking at BTC here, not much has gone on, and we're just bouncing within and out this range. So I mean, let's see how this weekend goes. We still could get this drop back down to test 31k, but remember, we've already been down there, I mean, 3 times, and it's acted as solid support. So there's a good chance if we did come down to that region again, we could still bounce and push on. But I wouldn't like to see a 4th test, to be honest. I think that's 3rd time lucky, and I think really I'm looking for up only and try and target this 40,500 region. We have had a few 4-hour closures above there, but we've rejected off it pretty much 3 times around this area around here. So I'm looking for that break above that region, and fingers crossed we can get it today. Before that weekend happens, because if we can break up today, close above 40k and use that region as support, we might be okay going into the weekend. What's my thoughts on Link? I've never been a massive fan of Link, to be honest. I know we've got in a lot of projects with the Oracle now. I've just never been a big fan of it. Always what put me off. I know they've probably got some type of plan in place for who's holding what tokens, but I've just never been a fan of their tokenomics. I think something like 60-70% of the entire supply is held by the team, and there has been people tracing the blockchain and seeing that we've been selling 500,000 Link every week or something like that, and it just put me off a little bit. It might be fun, but it just put me off, to be honest, mate. So personally, I don't invest in it. Someone asked me to look at Luna earlier on. I had a look at it pre-video, and again, so many alts are just pretty much going sideways now, waiting for that next decision, whether it's going to be up, whether it's going to be down. Personally, I think up. Might be wrong, but that's the way I feel. I don't think we're in a bearish cycle yet. Obviously, on the lower time frames, pretty much from the daily down, it has been looking nasty, but I think we're starting to recover on some alts, and we had a major drop. It was just FUD that brought us down, and the market was due a correction at some point. Probably nobody believed that the correction was going to be that severe, but shit happens, doesn't it? We've brought down, we're coming now, we're using this area as support as we used here last time, so let's hope we're just using this area as some structure now, and we can start to push on to. Yeah, I think too, mate. I think we've bottomed out. Bloody hell, it's Friday, isn't it? What else are we looking at? KNC. God, I used to hold some KNC ages ago. Do you think there'll be a small pump, then a dump, and all-time highs? Let me just do Kyber first, I'll come back to that question. So on my daily, I mean, it's looking quite bearish here, isn't it? It's looking like MACD was potentially getting a bearish cross here, and the histogram has pretty much run out of steam. So that does show to me that we are dropping down, and it's shown here on the daily time frame that we are pretty much, I mean, even if you look all the way from down here, we've been pretty much downtrending all the way down. So yeah, that's looking quite bearish on the daily time frame. Dropping to the 4 hour. Again, bearish scenario on the MACD. Let's have a look at its latest move. Lost at 618 level, so if you're looking for some buys, I would potentially target this region around here. Use it as support, and then support resistance, and it's a 786 level, so $1.70 if you're looking for some buys, but really we need to start pushing back above $2.40 to regain some momentum and start to push back to the upside. I've not done KECHZ yet, I'll look in a minute. In regards of all-time highs, I think we're a few months off it yet. I think we're just going to have a bit of like Crypto 7 today. I think we're going to have a quiet month, maybe to 6 weeks of this boring chop, sideways chop. I mean, in reality, we could just keep bouncing like this for a few months and just keep going up and down, and then eventually we'll start getting some bullish news push through, and I think we're just going to have a nice steady increase back up to all-time highs, maybe between August and December time. I think things might start to grow again, and it's obviously like October to December is very good for crypto, so let's just hold on, and I reckon over the next few months we're just gonna have that boring sideways action before we do start to push on. So chilies, I heard somebody say last night we had quite a good rise. Something to do with Argentina NFTs, I believe, or something like that. You have to let me know in chat what it is, because I've not looked at it yet, but yeah, we're on a good rise here. I mean, first level we need to target is looking at this region here. Let's get rid of all them previous levels. So you could say this is mid-range of a chop, this is a bottom range, just move it up there, and that's the top of a chop. So really we need to keep hold of this area support. As you can see, it's use that area support quite a lot all the way through. Probably going to reject off this region again, 33 cents. So if you're looking to take some profit, that is probably the first area to look at taking profit, because this move may push up to that region. So I mean, we've had a drop down to 20 cents. We might get that push up to 33 cents and then come back down and test this region, 25 cents. If the market does shit its bed, we might come back down to this region, but hopefully we can start to pick up some bullish momentum and then potentially go that way. So that's a potential setup for chilies. If you're looking for buy zones, maybe wait for that rejection, see if it comes back down to 25 cents and then take it from there. But yeah, I mean, it's on a good rise at a minute. Yeah, it's good for traders. I mean, if you're into trading, personally I don't do it, I've not got enough time, but if you are into trading, I think now is a perfect time for scalping. BTC, pretty much most alts are range bound now within this range. BTC is range bound. I mean, it could be a nice area for scalping on the lower time frames. I mean, down at a 15-minute. I mean, look at this, it is just sideways chop up and down. So if you're looking for some trading times, I think now is probably a solid time for you to bang some trades in, and or at least learn to do some trading. I just don't have time. Maybe when I go for crypto full time I might get a bit of trading, but yeah, I don't have time at the minute. Also got in there. Have you looked at Luna? Yeah, I have, buddy. Not much going on Luna. It's quite boring, to be honest. Let's have a look. Not in terms of project or fundamentals, just in terms of price action. Just range bound within that area there. Literally nothing going on. The markets are very quiet at the minute. We've had a bit of bullish news on Bitcoin, obviously, with the El Salvador news, but same with Bitcoin. We're on a nice rise at the minute. So let's just see how it goes. I'm going to mark that level at 382 level is pretty much mid-range, so we've got a high range, a low range, and a mid-range there. Let's see if it's obviously come down and tested that range, so let's see if we push up. I'm really looking for a breakout of this 40,500 for us to push on at some stage. Football starts this weekend, doesn't it? Or today. What's Coco's? Never heard of it. Let's have a look. It's on Binance. Never ever heard of this one. So weekly time frame looks nasty, doesn't it? We've done a massive retracement from where we've been. 786 region support, push back up. Daily time frame. Actually, not even much data here, is it? We only got data from the beginning of the year, so not much data to analyse there. In terms of price action, where we've been up to $1.87, done a savage 85% drop. But we've bounced up at minute. Currently on a 192% recovery. Up to 4 hour. Looking good that move, to be honest. We're on a bit of a bullish rise here. MACD's flipped bullish. We had a bullish cross there, so that's good. Maybe if you're looking for some buys, I would target either 66 cent or this golden ratio down at 55 cent. I think two areas that you could potentially look at before we push on. But in terms of targets, then you've got to look at 95 cent and $1.11. Scotland for a big W in the Euros. Don't think so, mate. Might be England. I'm sure somebody. Let me have a look. Who's at favourites at a minute? Sure, somebody told me England were joint favourites, and I thought, surely not. Alright. France, England, Belgium. How are England in second place? That's ridiculous. Where's Scotland? Not even on list. Means it's never happening. Yeah, I reckon Italy should do well, to be honest. Can't see England doing any good. They play absolutely dog shit since Southgate's been in charge. He just brings his personality into the team, doesn't he? Boring as hell. Will Doge hit 1 USD? Nope. Can't understand why there's so many fans of Doge. Let's have a look where it is. Have we got Doge on here? Where have we been? Up to 74 cents. There is a chance that it could hit that range at some point. I mean, it's got that many people behind it now, even though it's nothing like the world wants, but it's just a meme, isn't it? That's the all-time high up at 74 cents. So, considering it's been up there, there's always a potential that it could push back up to those regions. But in terms of fundamentals and technology, then it's crap. It's a runaway proof of work train that just keeps growing and growing. I think it emits about 14 million Doge a day, so inflation is horrific on that. Should I buy ECP? No. Which country I'm from? I'm from England. It's exactly the same tech as Litecoin. It's a hard fork of Litecoin chain. That's what it is. It's like BTC's reclaimed 37k again. Matic. I'm looking at Polygon Matic a minute ago. Let's have a look. It's downtrending on me. I mean, on the daily too. Let's just look at it on the daily. Still downtrending on the daily. I'm looking for an entry down here at $1.10. Unless we do break to the upside of this. If we do break out of this downtrend, I'm looking for a break up, a rejection back to test the trend line, and then either potentially open along or buy some spot down at this region. But so far, it's not looking good on the daily time frame. If you're looking at a MACD, it's bearish. So yeah, I mean, bearish or better for me, to be honest. I think if it's going to drop down, long term, it's a sound asset, and if you're managing to pick some orders within this range down here, I think that'll be solid. What's your thoughts on VET? I hold a lot of VeChain. I'm not sure. Oh, OceanX. OceanX is VeChain's exchange, isn't it? I'm not looked into the OceanX token, but VeChain, I'm massively bullish long term on that. I think I'm just going to hold on long term, see what goes on with this cycle towards the end of the year. Obviously, we're taking some profit. Maybe a full bag, maybe not, but let's see. Long on Moretti again. Got around, mate. Weekend, didn't it? In fact, have I got any? My beer fridge is right behind me. Nope. Loads of Coors Light, which I'll have to do. What about ETC? Not a big fan of it, to be honest, mate. Not a fan at all. That's another fork of Ethereum that doesn't do anything apart from get loads of volume on Robinhood, which is scammish to me, to be honest. $39 likes on my stream. Smash that like button. Get it up to 50. Go on. I'm interested in your opinion on Shiba. I think it's just another bullshit token, same as Doge, to be honest, mate. Not a big fan of it. Not a fan of any of these meme assets, really. But fundamentals, they can absolutely explode. But I'm not willing to risk buying into an asset like that, to be honest. The predictions for ETH to $500. No chance, mate. I can't see it happening. But it's sat at 2,400. Remember last year, ETH was $83 down here. I managed to buy some. This here was the COVID dump. I remember when everything took an absolute hammer. We down $84 went to, and ever since then, this is, to me, this was the start of a bull run on every asset. So we have been on a bull run now since 13th of March last year. And I think things are looking good so far, to be honest. Look at this growth. Obviously come back down and had a nasty dump, but that's what happens. Shit happens, to be honest. Long term, somebody's mentioned 20k. I think we've got a good chance of testing 10k. Where are we in terms of 10k? You're talking 300%, which you might think, oh my god, that's a long way, but it's not. Remember, we've been from $83 all the way up to 4,300, so I think that's definitely possible this cycle going towards the end of the year. But let's just monitor it. Currently, like I say, boring at a minute. Not much going on in terms of growth. Do I think VeChain is about to dip? If it does, I can't see it going any lower in this region, which is pretty much 10 cent. There is a potential of a cross coming over if we pretty much close down around this region and this next follow candle. But remember, if we just get a tick to the upside, that'll just widen and move on. But yeah, it could be a nice area to potentially get in soon if the market does allow. Why so skeptical about ETC? I'm sure people who built the chain, I'm sure they left it, and then somebody else took over it. But I'm just not a fan of it. It's just, why do you need Ethereum Classic when you've got Ethereum? And I can't understand why you would need it. That's like for exact same reason of why would you buy Bitcoin SV when you've got Bitcoin? I don't see a point. It's either one or other, and I always like to go with the actual proper one rather than the Chinese version, if you know what I mean, the copy. How long should I hold ETH? As long as you want, mate. Whenever you're happy with profit. Depends where you bought in. If you managed to buy it last year, you'll be in some decent profit. Skim some profit. Right, another couple of minutes. I'll cover one more project and then I'll sack this stream off. Do I have use a VP VR? No, I don't. I was looking at that probably last year, and then I need to start using that, to be honest. I've actually no idea how it works, to be honest, but I've never looked into indicator, which I should do really. Yeah, no idea about that, so I don't know, mate. How long have we been on a live? 56 minutes. Do another 5 or 10. Tuning bars at 200. I'll write that down. I'm not going to do it now on stream, but I'll have a look later. Why is the whole crypto market going down when Bitcoin goes down, vice versa? Well, remember, we was on a major parabolic move on cryptocurrency. Bitcoin still leads the entire market, as you can see. If you look down here from March 13th, massive rise, and you would have expected at some stage to get a reversal, which we have done. People seem to think, oh, that's it, that's over, that's a bear market. In my opinion, it's just a standard retracement. Like a pop to upside here, pop to downside, up, down. Oh, you can't look. It never moves up in a straight line. Like a bounce back down here. I reckon we're going to range around here before we then start climbing up and then creating some new all-time highs. But obviously not exactly like that. But you know what I mean. We can't just keep going up in a straight line. Imagine if it just went like that. I mean, everyone would be buying it, wouldn't they? So yeah. I just think it's a general market pullback. We had a little bit of FUD thrown in there, and then obviously we've got a load of new people in the market, and fear set in. But if you check the greed and fear index, let's have a look now. Actually, there's greed and fear. When fear sets in, and there's a lot of new investors in play, it obviously will tear the market down with it. So Yeah, I mean, currently at 21, was at 21 yesterday. Extreme fear in the market, but I think that'll still stay the same until we break out of this range. I think once we do break out of this range here at around 40k, and if we flip back to support, then I think that we will start to get some bullish momentum back, and I think the fear and greed index will start to rise up a little bit. Which coin's going to the moon in 2021? I think a new project is going to moon called this one. I think this is going to absolutely fly. It's only been released a couple of weeks, so if you're looking to buy a project, a new one, which is going to be potentially a Polkadot parachain, it's also got links with Binance, so go and check Caps out, which is Turnover. One of my favourite new projects at the minute. Right, that's going to do it for today's stream. Anyway, that's about an hour. I'm absolutely starving, so I'm going to have to get some breakfast. So, thanks everybody who's tuned in this morning. If you're new here, make sure that you are subscribed. I'll try and do another stream, maybe tomorrow morning, but we'll see. Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. I will catch you next time.